Hey guys, William Mayette, creator of JAZZEDGE. Welcome to Jazz Piano Daily. Today we are talking about jazz major 7th chords. So what is Jazz Piano Daily? Basically, they are quick, no BS, learn by doing daily jazz piano lessons. If you'd like to get all of the lessons, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. All right, today we're going to be talking about jazz major 7th chords and how to build our rootless chord voicings. First of all, if we take a look at our block chord right here, this is our E flat major 7th chord, right? Quick way of making that is if you were to play an E flat major scale, you number the notes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If you play 1, 3, 5, and 7, that's your E flat major 7th block chord. All of that is covered in detail in my Piano Essentials course. All right, so we have root 3, 5, 7. What we're going to do is we're going to get rid of the root, put our pinky on the 3rd, shift our fingers up, and play the 9th with our thumb. This is what gives us our A form right here, okay? So this is our A form. Let me zoom this in a little bit for you. All right, so these notes are G, B flat, D, and F. If I play an E flat over here with the left hand, which would normally be played by like the bass player, right? This is what that rootless chord voicing sounds like. This is our, like I said, our A form, all right? If I want to go to my B form, all I do is take the bottom 2 notes, or the top 2, however you want to look at it, and just move them up. So if I take these bottom 2 notes and I move them up, then I get that. Or if I take the top 2 and I move them down, I get that. You'll see that it's exactly the same notes, right? So in this case, this voicing is our B form voicing, and we have 7, 9, 3, and 5. All right, so first of all, let's talk about A form, B form. Quite frankly, some people are going to call this the B form and that the A form. It really doesn't matter. All that really matters is that there are 2 forms. Now, you might say, hey, wait a second, can I also do some of these other inversions like this, right? Yes, you can, but really these 2 forms are the best way to get started and really all that you need. So again, let's cover what these 2 forms are. So the first form is you have the 3rd on the bottom and it's 3, 5, 7, 9. The second form is with the 7th on the bottom, and you have 7, 9, 3, 5. Let's move to C major for a second. C major 7th, right? First form, put your pinky on the E, the 3rd, come up and play the 9th with your thumb. All right, so there's your C major 7th, rootless chord voicing, your A form. The B form, take the bottom 2 notes, move them up here, or another way of thinking about it is start with your 7th on your pinky, 7, 9, 3, 5. Okay, it's another way of thinking about it. Now, let's take a look here, and let's do this along with we have a little example here with Misty. Okay, so check this out. So I come down, I hit the root, and I come up and I play the rootless chord voicing. Then here I went to the 5th of the chord, and I come up and I play the rootless chord voicing again, but I leave off this thumb. Now, you're going to see why in the next lesson as we add on that minor 7th chord, okay, for the next chord. You'll see why I left off that thumb. But this thumb right here is being left off because otherwise I'm going to conflict with my right hand melody. All right, so let's go through this again. Sorry. So I hit the roots down there of E flat, then I come up and I play this rootless chord voicing. This is kind of a stride feel, which we're going to talk about a little bit more as we go on. And then the 5th, right? And then here, I'm going to just play the 7th, the 9th, and the 3rd. I'm going to leave off the 5th because you're going to see that the melody is going to come in on the right hand and we don't want it to conflict. All right, so that'll make sense in the next lesson. For right now, just try and get this down. Just get that. Okay, so it's pinky on E flat. Come up, play pinky, middle finger, 2nd finger, thumb. Then I go down to my 5th. You can play with your 4th, your pinky, your middle finger, whatever finger feels comfortable down there. And then you come back up, you play the same chord, but we leave off that top note. So just leave off the top note there, just move your thumb out of the way, all right? So for right now, and like I said, this will make a lot more sense once we do the next section. Let me just cover one more time since we have just a couple of minutes here. Let me just cover once more how to make this rootless chord voicing because I want to make sure that you really understand it well. There's another way in which you could think about this, and that is if I'm playing E flat major 7th, right? Start with my guide tones, which are the 3rd and the 7th, and that is this right here, 3 and 7, right? So I have the 7th there and the 3rd there. So the 7th and the 3rd, or the 3rd and the 7th rather. And then I could think I have one note in between, okay? So one note is going to go in between, so it's something like there, right? So one note in between, that one note in between is going to be that 5th, okay, right there. And then I'm going to have one note above, which is going to be the 9th right there. Okay, so I could kind of look at it that way as well. Think about my guide tones and then adding in some other notes. Well, what about on this one over here? Well, there's my 7th right there. Let me zoom this in a little bit. Okay, let's zoom this in, and I'll show this to you. This will make it a little bit more easy, make a little bit more sense for you. All right, so here I have my 7th right here. Okay, there's my 7th, and then I have my 3rd right here. Okay, so that's the 3rd. This one, and there's your 7th right there. Now this note and this note right here, that's my 9th, right? So 9 is right there, and then I have 5 up top there, okay? So I can also look at that the same way. I have the 7th and the 3rd. Those are my guide tones. My guide tones are typically the 3rd and the 7th of the chord. I put one note in between the guide tones and one note above the guide tones. Just a little trick, a little easier way of thinking about how to form those rootless chord voicings. All right, so anyway, that's it for today's lesson. Now, be sure to see the description below if you want to grab the sheet music for the lesson. It's absolutely free of charge, so go ahead back to Jazz Piano Daily. Like I said, if you like what you see, please do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, and be sure to like the video, and then also turn on notifications. And most importantly, if you have questions or you have some lessons that you would like to see, leave a comment in the video, just below the video, and I'll be happy to take a look at that, and then maybe your lesson will be one of the Jazz Piano Daily lessons. All right, that's it for me. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in the next lesson.